During a break from my husband, I ended up pregnant by his younger brother. But instead of coming clean, I faked a paternity test to keep the family from falling apart. Everything was going smoothly until his mom found the real results, exposed me in front of everyone, and kicked me out of Thanksgiving like I was a stranger. My husband and I had a massive argument back in March, a full-blown shouting and throwing things match. He declared we needed space and went to stay at his parents' house for 2 weeks. I was devastated, truly believing we were headed for divorce. His younger brother came over to check on me the second night, bringing wine and expressing concern about me being alone. One thing led to another and we were intimate. It was foolish and I regretted it instantly, but the damage was done. When my husband returned home, we had a tearful reconciliation. We agreed we both needed to work on ourselves and started couples therapy. Everything seemed to be going well until I discovered I was pregnant 6 weeks later. This is where it gets complicated. The timing was ambiguous. My husband and I had been intimate the night before our big fight, and then I was with his brother 2 weeks after that. But deep down I knew, call it intuition, it wasn't my husband's. I panicked. We had just reconciled, therapy was helping, and finding out the truth would shatter everything, not just our marriage but the entire family. So, when we went for the paternity test, I bribed the lab technician. Cost me $3,000, but she altered the results. My husband was ecstatic when the test confirmed he was the father. His whole family was overjoyed, especially his mother, who had longed for grandchildren forever. We even named the baby after my husband's father, and everything appeared perfect. However, babies don't conceal genetics. My son is now 8 months old and looks exactly like his biological father. Same eyes, same nose, everything. My husband hasn't said anything, but I occasionally catch him staring with a bewildered expression. Last week, my mother-in-law offered to babysit overnight. When I picked up my son the next morning, she was frigid. It turns out she had performed one of those at-home DNA tests while I was away. The real results came back yesterday. She called me at work, screaming that I was a deceitful, unfaithful person who destroyed her family. She said I had until Thanksgiving to tell my husband the truth, or she would. Then she prohibited me from Thanksgiving dinner, and declared I was no longer welcome in their home. My husband keeps asking why his mother is behaving strangely, and why we can't attend Thanksgiving. I've been fabricating excuses, but he's growing suspicious. His brother has been avoiding everyone since his mother also called him. I know I made a terrible mistake, but I was trying to protect everyone. My son has a father who adores him, my marriage was saved, and the family remained intact. Now everything is falling apart anyway, and it's going to be 10 times worse because of the deception. Part of me wants to continue the lie, and hope his mother doesn't actually tell him. Perhaps she'll calm down and realize destroying the family won't benefit anyone. But I also know she's incredibly stubborn, and will absolutely follow through. I'm terrified my husband will leave me, take my son, and I'll lose everything. But if the truth emerges from someone else, it will be even more devastating. So, internet community, am I in the wrong for falsifying the paternity test to preserve my family? Should I confess before Thanksgiving, or keep trying to safeguard what we've built? Update. His mother just texted me. You have 48 hours. So I guess that settles it. Well, everything imploded much faster than anticipated. I couldn't sleep last night, so I was scrolling through your comments, and honestly, some of them are brutal but fair. I was planning to tell him tonight after work, but then his brother showed up at my door at 7 a.m., looking equally sleep-deprived. We need to talk, he said. No kidding, genius. It turns out his mother called him right after she called me, and essentially devastated him too. She was screaming about how he's a homewrecker and how he could do this to his own brother. He looked dreadful, genuinely nauseous. He told me she threatened to cut him off completely if he doesn't tell his brother himself. Apparently, she gave him the same 48-hour deadline. So now we're both in a terrible situation, and his mother is manipulating everyone's lives. But here's the kicker. While we were standing in my kitchen having this nightmare conversation, my husband walked in. He had forgotten his laptop and came back to grab it before work. The look on his face when he saw his brother there so early, both of us looking undeniably guilty, you could literally see the pieces clicking into place. What's going on? He asked. A dead silence followed. Neither of us said anything for about 10 seconds, which was probably the worst possible reaction. Then his brother simply broke down and told him everything, not just about us being intimate, but about the paternity test, the bribery, all of it. He just word vomited the entire truth right there in my kitchen. I watched my husband's face cycle through every possible emotion. Confusion, hurt, anger, disgust. He looked at our son sleeping in his bouncer and then back at me and just said, "Get out." Not yelling, not screaming, just cold and flat. He told his brother to get out too. I tried to explain, tried to tell him I was protecting our family, that I love him, but he wouldn't listen. He picked up our son and said, "This is my son regardless of DNA, and you will not take him from me." Then he told me I had until tonight to pack my things and find somewhere else to stay. His brother left and I've been packing ever since. I called my sister who lives 3 states away, and she said I can stay with her for a while. My husband went to work as if nothing happened, but he's been texting me about custody arrangements and lawyer consultations. The worst part is he's not even fighting me on taking our son. He said, "You made your choice when you lied for 8 months. I'm making mine now." He wants full custody. And honestly, after reading your comments, I think he'll probably get it. His mother texted me again this morning simply saying, "Good." Apparently, his brother called her and told her everything was out in the open now. She's probably planning the biggest Thanksgiving feast ever now that the deceitful person is gone. I keep thinking about what some of you said about how I destroyed multiple relationships trying to save one. My marriage is over. His relationship with his brother is probably ruined. I've lost my son's daily presence, and for what? Because I was too much of a coward to face the consequences of my actions 8 months ago. My son doesn't even know daddy isn't actually daddy. He's going to grow up with this mess hanging over everything, and when he's old enough to understand, he's going to know his mom is the reason his family fell apart. I don't know what I expected posting here. Maybe I thought some of you would tell me I was just trying to protect everyone and it would all work out. Instead, most of you saw right through my foolishness and called me out for being selfish. You were right. Sitting in my empty house with boxes everywhere and my son at daycare. I finally understand how badly I messed up. Not just the cheating, but the lying, the cover-up, dragging everyone into this web of deception. His mother was right to exclude me. His brother was right to feel guilty. My husband was right to tell me to leave. The real question now is, do I fight him on custody or let him have what he wants? He's been this kid's dad since day one, loves him more than anything, and can provide stability I clearly can't. But he's also not the biological father, and I feel like that has to matter somehow. Also, his brother keeps calling me, but I don't know what to say to him. We're both responsible for this disaster, but now he's lost his brother and I've lost my husband. Do we even acknowledge each other at court hearings or just pretend none of it happened? Part of me wants to just disappear, move across the country with my sister and start over, let my husband raise our son and never look back. But then I think about missing first steps, first words, birthdays, everything. Is that what a good mom would do? Or am I just running away again? So, internet community, now that the truth is out and everyone despises me, am I in the wrong for considering giving up custody to avoid making this worse for everyone? Or should I fight for my son even though I'm the one who caused this mess? Holy moly, you all weren't kidding about lawyers being expensive. I met with 3 different ones yesterday, and they all basically said the same thing. I'm in a dire situation. Falsifying paternity tests is fraud, adultery impacts custody decisions, and the fact that I deceived everyone for 8 months makes me appear to be an unfit parent. But that's not even the worst part. My husband's lawyer contacted me this morning with the settlement offer. He wants full physical custody. I would get supervised visitation twice a month and pay child support. Oh, and I have to sign something stating I won't contest his parental rights or try to involve the biological father in custody matters. I was ready to just sign everything and disappear, as some of you suggested. Then my sister called me crying. It turns out my husband showed up at her house yesterday with our son, drove 6 hours just to let me see him one more time before the legal matters are finalized. She said he looked exhausted and heartbroken, but he still allowed our son to crawl all over me for 2 hours. He didn't say much to me directly, but he told my sister, she's still his mom, and he deserves to know her, even after everything I did to him. He's still thinking about what's best for our son. That broke something in me. Here I am, ready to run away and abandon my child. And the man I betrayed is ensuring my son doesn't completely lose his mother. It made me realize how selfish I've been about this entire custody situation. So I called his lawyer back and rejected the settlement. I told them I want joint custody, and I'm prepared to fight for it. It's probably foolish considering how bad my case looks, but I can't just walk away from my son because it's easier. Then things got really strange. His brother called me last night, absolutely panicking. Apparently, their mother decided the whole family needed crisis counseling, and booked them all into family therapy, including me. She wants everyone there Thursday to hash this out properly before Thanksgiving. I told him there's no way I'm sitting in a room with all of them while some therapist dissects my life choices. He said his mother wasn't asking. She was telling, and if I don't show up, she'll make sure I never see my son again. Apparently, she has some kind of leverage because my husband agreed to it too. But here's the thing that's truly bothering me. My husband texted me directly for the first time since this all came out. He just said, "Therapy might help us figure out what's best for him," referring to our son. Not for us, not for the family, but for our son. Part of me thinks this is just his mother trying to humiliate me in front of a professional, get me to admit what a terrible person I am so it's easier to completely cut me out. But what if it's actually about trying to mend things somehow? I've been looking through our old photos and remembering how happy we were before I ruined everything. How he used to rub my feet when I was pregnant, how excited he was for every ultrasound, how he cried when our son was born. He was such a good husband, and I threw it all away for one night with his brother. The brother situation is another complete mess. He's been leaving me voicemails apologizing and saying he wants to make things right. Easy for him to say. He's not the one who lied for 8 months. But he's also not the one who's about to lose custody of his child. Some of you asked if I ever considered that maybe my husband suspected something all along. Looking back, there were signs. He never mentioned how much our son looks like his brother, but he definitely noticed. There were a few times he'd get quiet when people commented on family resemblances. Maybe he knew and was just hoping I'd eventually tell him the truth. Instead, I kept lying and let him fall deeper in love with a child that isn't biologically his. God, I really am as awful as his mother said. The therapy appointment is in 2 days and I still don't know if I'm going. My lawyer says it could harm my custody case if I say the wrong thing. But my sister thinks I should go and try to salvage whatever relationship I can with my son's father, because that's what he is regardless of DNA. He's been there for every fever, every sleepless night, every milestone. He's the one who taught our son to clap and helped him take his first steps. Meanwhile, his biological father has been pretending none of this happened. I keep wondering if there's any universe where we could work this out, where I could earn back his trust and we could co-parent effectively, or if I destroyed that possibility forever with my lies and selfishness. So, internet community, am I in the wrong if I attend this family therapy session and potentially make things worse, or should I skip it and just focus on the custody battle? I went to the therapy session. I wish I hadn't. I walked into this beige office, thinking maybe we could actually talk things through like adults. His mother was already there, looking like she was ready for war. His brother slouched in the corner, avoiding eye contact with everyone. My husband sat across from me, holding our son, and wouldn't even look up when I came in. The therapist started with basic questions about family dynamics and communication patterns, boring stuff. Then his mother just erupted, screaming about how I'm a manipulative liar who seduced her younger son to get revenge on her older son. Completely fabricated, but she was on a roll. She planned this whole thing, she yelled. She probably got pregnant on purpose to trap one of my boys. The therapist was trying to calm her down, but she wasn't having it. She kept going on about how I destroyed her family and how dare I show my face there. Then she dropped this bombshell. It turns out she hired a private investigator after she received the DNA results. This woman actually paid someone to dig into my life. She found out about the bribe I paid the lab technician, found receipts for everything. Has a whole folder of evidence she's planning to give to my husband's lawyer. My husband finally spoke up. "Mom, that's enough." His voice was so tired. This isn't helping anyone, especially not him. And he bounced our son on his knee. The kid was being so good through all this chaos, just playing with his dad's keys. The therapist asked his brother to share his perspective. The poor guy looked like he wanted to disappear. He said he never intended for any of this to happen, that he was trying to help me through a difficult time and made a terrible mistake. His mother cut him off. "You didn't make a mistake. You were seduced by a terrible woman who was using you to hurt your brother." That's when I lost it. I told her she can call me whatever she wants, but her son came to me, brought the wine, made the first move. It wasn't like I hunted him down and attacked him. We were both adults who made a bad choice. His brother actually supported me on this, said he took responsibility for his part, and his mother needed to stop acting like I forced him into anything. She then turned on him, screaming about how I turned her sons against each other. The therapist finally gained control and asked what we all wanted to achieve from these sessions. My husband said he wanted to figure out how to co-parent effectively despite everything that happened. His mother said she wanted me completely out of their lives. His brother said he wanted his family back. I said I wanted to be a good mother to my son and find a way to coexist with his father. It probably sounded pathetic, but it's true. Then his mother played her ace card. She told the therapist about some conversation she had with my son's pediatrician. Apparently, she called, pretending to be concerned about genetics and family medical history. The doctor mentioned some routine tests they run on newborns and how certain markers can indicate paternity issues. She's claiming the doctor suspected something months ago, but didn't say anything because of privacy laws. Now she wants to subpoena medical records to prove I knew the truth earlier than I admitted, trying to make my fraud case even worse. My husband looked physically ill when she said this, like he was nauseous. He handed our son to his brother and walked out of the room. He came back 10 minutes later with red eyes. The session ended with a therapist suggesting individual counseling for everyone before attempting family sessions again. His mother refused, saying she was done enabling my manipulation, and walked out. His brother left right after her. My husband stayed behind with our son. We sat in that office for another 20 minutes, not saying anything. Finally, he asked, "Did you ever love me? Or was this all just some game to you?" I told him I loved him more than anything, that's why I lied. I didn't want to lose him. He said, "You lost me the minute you slept with my brother. Everything after that was just you trying to avoid consequences." Then he said something that really affected me. "I would have forgiven the cheating. We were separated, you thought it was over, people make mistakes. But the lying, the fake test, watching me fall in love with him, knowing he might not be mine, that's what I can't get past." He's right. I was so focused on avoiding the immediate fallout that I made everything worse, turning a mistake into a massive betrayal that hurt everyone involved. But here's what's truly bothering me. Our son was being so sweet during all this babbling and reaching for both of us. He doesn't know his whole world is falling apart because of choices his parents made before he was even born. My husband's lawyer called this morning. Apparently, his mother's private investigator found more things. Bank records showing the payment to the lab technician, text messages between me and his brother from that night, probably other things I don't even recall. They're offering me a new deal. Supervised visitation once a month, no overnight stays, no child support required from me. Basically, they want me to be a distant aunt who shows up occasionally rather than an actual parent. I'm supposed to give them an answer by tomorrow. Part of me thinks I should just accept it and try to rebuild some kind of relationship with my son over time. But another part of me wants to fight this and prove I can be a good mother despite my mistakes. So, internet community, am I in the wrong for considering taking this deal and accepting minimal custody? Or should I keep fighting for more time with my son even though his father's family is destroying me in court? Everything is a disaster, but not in the way you might imagine. I was supposed to give the lawyers my answer yesterday about the custody deal. I spent all morning preparing myself to simply accept it and quietly disappear. Then my husband called me directly instead of going through lawyers. "We need to talk before you make any decisions." I met him at a coffee shop near his work. He looked like he hadn't slept in weeks. He brought a manila folder and placed it on the table between us. I thought, great, more evidence against me. "My mom hired that investigator to destroy you," he said. "But she found something else too." He opened the folder, and inside were bank statements, phone records, emails, all kinds of things, but not mine. His mother's. It turns out his dear old mother knew about me and his brother the entire time. She had known for months before she confronted me. The investigator found texts between her and some friend where she's literally planning how to handle the situation when the time was right. She wasn't just randomly suspicious about the baby's paternity. She had been watching us, collecting evidence, waiting for the perfect moment to detonate everything. Apparently, she never liked me and saw this as her chance to permanently get rid of me. But here's the truly disturbing part. She knew about the fake paternity test too. She had figured it out months ago but remained silent because she wanted me to dig myself deeper, wanted more ammunition for when she finally made her move. "She played all of us," he said. "Let me bond with him, let me plan our future." All while knowing she was going to destroy it eventually. I sat there trying to process this. His own mother manipulated the entire situation to maximize damage to everyone involved, including her own son and grandson. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. "Because despite everything you did, you don't deserve what she's doing to you, and our son doesn't deserve to lose his mother because my mom is a vindictive person." Then he dropped the real bomb. He's cutting contact with his mother completely. He's already filed a restraining order against her for harassment. He told his brother he needs to choose between supporting his mom's crusade or having a relationship with his nephew. "I'm withdrawing the custody petition," he said. "Want to try actual co-parenting without lawyers and private investigators and family drama?" I started crying right there in the coffee shop. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I asked him why he would do this after everything I put him through. "Because you made one stupid mistake and then made it worse trying to fix it." She orchestrated months of psychological warfare against her own family. There's a difference. We talked for 3 hours, worked out a schedule where our son stays with him during the week and me on weekends. We'll split holidays and make decisions together. No lawyers, no courts, just two people trying to do right by their child. His brother actually called me that night and said he chose our son over their mother, and she's officially disowned both of us. Apparently, She's telling everyone who will listen that her sons chose a terrible person over their own mother. Good, he said. Maybe now we can all heal from this mess. I don't know if my husband and I will ever be friends again, probably not, but we're going to try to be good co-parents. And honestly, after seeing what his mother is capable of, my betrayal doesn't seem like the worst thing that happened to this family. Our son had his first sleepover at my new place this weekend. He kept looking around for his dad but settled in okay. We read books and played with blocks, and I remembered why I wanted to fight for this in the first place. My husband texted me Sunday night, just said, "How did it go?" with a picture of himself looking lonely on the couch. I told him our son missed him but had a good time. He said, "Good. He should miss both of us when we're apart." So, internet community, after all this drama, all these updates, all your brutal but fair comments, I guess the real problem was the mother-in-law all along. But seriously, am I wrong for feeling relieved that someone else turned out to be worse than me? Or should I still feel guilty about starting this whole mess in the first place?